and the likely new House Ways and Means Chairman, Mr. Dave Camp. Mr. Camp, welcome. Can I call you Chairman, sir?
Well, pretty soon, Larry. Good to be with you.
All right, good to be with you. So let me ask you right up top. You're going to be a very key player. What is your plan for the Bush tax cut rates?
Well, I hope we can get to them in the lame duck session and extend them all. We need to do that. The economy is too weak. The unemployment rate is still too high. We should have done it, frankly, before we adjourned for the election. So I hope we can do it in the lame duck. If not, it'll be the first order of business when we take the majority in January. Now,
the latest coming out of the White House is they want to decouple. So I'll ask you whether that's plausible or not. They want a permanent extension of the so-called middle-class tax cuts up to $250,000, and now a temporary extension, as I understand it, that would be threshold at $500,000 to $1 million. What is your reaction to that plan?
Well, I think that's bad policy. Look, at $250,000 and above, half of that income is small business income. Look, we don't want to raise taxes on anybody in this economy. Times are not good enough. I think it's a bad policy to pit one American against another, to pit one group of people against another. We need to make sure there's no tax increase on anybody come January 1st.
So, Mr. Eric Cantor said today or yesterday that he rejects this decoupling. Do you agree with the majority leader to be?
I do agree with him. I think it's a bad policy. It's a bad precedent. What we really need to do is make sure that there's certainty. And I think all of this talk about different income levels just creates more uncertainty and makes it less likely for employers to hire people.
Just another angle on this before we get to health care and some other things. The length of the extension, in other words, will you temporarily extend all of the bill for 2 years or 3 years or 5 years or 10 years for that matter? And if you're going to go 10 years, can you actually pay the nearly $4 trillion?
Look, I think we ought to go permanent. I think that's the position that many of us have been taking for a long time, and I think we ought to go permanent. And I don't think you have to pay for extensions of current law. Look, the idea that people have to pay to keep more of their own money, I think makes no sense. And particularly as we need some long-term economic growth in this country. We need a pro-growth agenda, and all the talk of tax increases, I think, just makes that less likely to occur.
But you know as well as I do, the White House is going to whack-a-mole you on the deficit issue if you want permanent extension. I mean, I can see him warming up right now.
Well, look, we do need to address the deficit, and the deficit has increased dramatically under this administration, so I'm happy to have a deficit discussion with them. That clearly is something we need to do, but it isn't just about the deficit. It's also about having a pro-growth agenda so that we can get this economy moving again and get people hired again.
So bottom line is this could happen in the lame duck, which I guess starts next week, but it might not happen till the winter, till after January 3rd when you all are sworn in. You're not sure. Is that right?
It's unclear now. Look, I'm glad the president's engaging on the issue. He's signaled some attempt to compromise, but I've got to get a lot more details on it.
All right. As chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, you're going to have the play on health care, at least part of the big play. I know you want to roll back a lot of Obamacare. It's a complicated issue. Can you give us some of your key ideas right now?
Well, I think we got to start with trying to repeal and replace. I think this bill has a lot of unintended consequences, and I think the major issue is the bill actually raises health care costs. It does not lower them like we were promised. The bill that I introduced, that was a Republican bill, actually was the only bill scored as lowering health care premiums across the board for families, small businesses, and individuals. I think that's where we need to start. And I think we ought to look at total repeal and replace it with a bill that actually lowers costs.
Will you actually legislate total repeal rather than a more tactical, piece-by-piece defunding approach?
Well, we may have to resort to defunding and also key issues. I mean, clearly this idea that every small business is going to have to file a 1099 for any expenditure over $600 is one that I think, frankly, we might be able to get a majority to vote on that issue right now. But there are so many things in the bill. For example, the fact that the government is going to use the IPAB to control costs and control procedures that people are going to be able to accept. The idea that Medicaid is expanded by 1/3 yet not paid for after 4 years. The idea that almost 100 companies have gotten exemptions for over 1 million employees under this bill. If the bill's so good, why are 1 million people exempt from it? There's lots of problems. We need to go back to the drawing board on this one.
Let me just expand it for a second in our last minute, sir. Obviously, the deficit is going to be a big issue. Obviously, the Tea Party push for the new Republican Congress wants lower spending and lower deficits. Won't you have to cut entitlement spending, including health care? I know there's a lot of bellyaching that the Obama bill takes $500 billion out of Medicare. But at the end of the day, aren't Republicans going to have to face the same issue of lowering entitlement spending?
Well, yeah, they say they lower entitlement spending, but they actually expand it with a long-term care entitlement, a brand new one, and also, by the way, they expand Medicaid by a third. So they say they reduce it, but they expand it. What we want to do is get costs out of health care. I think that's how you get more people insured. That's how you actually bring some private sector, with government oversight, but some private sector competition, as we did in Medicare Advantage. That's where you are getting care coordination, the kinds of innovation in health care that actually will help bring costs down. This bill doesn't do this. This is actually a throwback to the way medicine was practiced before a lot of innovations have been taken place and have been implemented.
All right, we'll leave it there. The incoming House Ways and Means Chairman, Mr. Dave Camp of Michigan, we appreciate it very much. All the best to you in the new assignment. Coming up on Kudlow, stocks take a breather today, but there's no stopping commodities. And we're not just talking about oil and gold. We're talking natural gas, silver, copper, coins, soybeans, you name it, it's rising. We're going to talk about how to play it and make a big buck.